dash like put a smack on the gas, but I hope I don't crash like
I sold the bags for retail. I'm from the block, no email. Walked out of Louis looking like a virgin discount. If it ain't 100, it's a miscount. 7 days a week, I 6 ounce. If a chick with me, she like big house. If a chick with me, she like foreign cars. If a chick with me, she like go yard. If a chick with me, she like protein. Make a sucker rich, the clothes off.
I'm cool, yo. I'm starting to think no one told y'all. Designing my clothes, dog. How much you think my coat costs? I'm spitting like Mozart. This till I gotta flip Noah's Ark. New Lamborghini, the doze off. Fell asleep in the doze off. Get it? My diamonds and stones water. I TD like Coach Carter. Ain't talking about no soda. Girl with me want some products. I pull her on turning heads. I close the curtain when she turn her nose. This off white. I be rocking Virgil clothes.
Walked out of Louis looking like a virgin discount. If it ain't 100, it's a miscount. 7 days a week, I 6 ounce. If a chick with me, she like big house. If a chick with me, she like foreign cars. If a chick with me, she like go yard. If a chick with me, she like protein. Make a sucker rich, the clothes off.
hip hop ain't really this found me. Little bit of little bell for the homies. Got a little green ball the beam for the Falby. Took more shots after phase than Calby. After dark you go crazy. Police ain't scary. You ain't bred for this. I'm still in the hood. They make bread and dip. I'm not jumping ship. I might you got love for Vince. Feeling like Snoop with the Source Awards. Feeling like you wasn't born for war. Cause when I come around you be head to the ground. Crack 'em up. Smell like the man running sound. Lucas smoke. When I am, I heard the Lucas toe. Long Beach like Crazy Joe with Mayhem. We'll be getting new wheels from Rouse the Caveman. Little bit of this, little bit of that. Little bit of this, little bit of that. Little bit of this, little bit of that. Mike up and flip where the is at. Where the women at? Baby, simmer lat. Been crazy, come where you living at. Kick down the door, get down and get gone. I ain't come here for the chitter chat, but I'm far removed from that gangsta. It don't make much sense, rather make me rich. Don't be playing with my money, it'll make me flip. And in the last couple lines, I'ma contradict. And for the last time, I ain't no more conscious. I like big, fast whips, anxious. Mansions and white, Mike Jackson. So stop acting like I'm an activist. No, this ain't happen on accident. They giving man to the Africans. It'll never be another one after this. So just pay your mission and pay attention. Little bit of this, little bit of that. Little bit of this, little bit of that. Little bit of this, little bit of that. My double flip where the is at. My where the women at.
Warned you ain't no time for no baby. When you sleeping on a stretcher like lily. I'm saying hey, tryna live day by day. None of these neighbors say nothing. If you see a and them is coming, they did it dumping, they kicking, they punching, they jumping, they you in front of the Baptist church. The trappers they job, they don't have to work. If this stitching, they act berserk and expos up like afterbirth. My mama told me go to church. I was sitting 10 rows from the first day, dreaming about everything I probably get if I the lady in front of me's purse and run out the back door. If he ask for my relationship with the Lord. You can tell at the service I'm bored. Hold up. I'd rather be on a resort. Hold up. I'd rather be service I'm bored. Hold up. I'd rather be serving this to a sort of thinking I know she is. I'm drowning, swimming in this got me drowning. I'm drowning. Ice, yeah, this water got me drowning. I'm drowning. No flotation, I'm drowning. I'm drowning. No flotation, I'm drowning. I'm drowning. Cool by the boat, I'm drowning. I'm drowning. Ice, yeah, this water got me drowning. I'm drowning. I'm drowning, I'm drowning. No flotation, I'm from a place where they pull up on you with a going bang, bang, bang. No one warned you, ain't no time for no bang, bang, bang. When you sleeping on a stretcher like lily. I'm saying hey, tryna live day by day. None of these neighbors say nothing. If you see a and them is coming, they did it dumping, they kicking, they punching, they jumping. The reason I'm gangsta, 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 gangsta,
I know that we got it, I might even guarantee it. When she pick me up and turn me right into a paraplegic pair of shoes. I got the MB on them, make you stare and see them. We ain't paying for them, now you ought to know I'm wearing free ones. When you go to me, I gotta know is there a reason it was so abrupt. I kinda had to think that there would be one. Conversations out of state, they asking where are we from. I don't care about you, I got me a chick that's Caribbean. She want me to serenade her, but you know I'm bashful. I got all the whippersnappers and the little rascals. Turned off the way we drippin' with Tabasco. Old friends inquiring about the cash flow. Okay, this here in the gas state. I can't hit it, if I do, I might pass away. These boys fake, please quit with the masquerade. Hey, not here with the pastor saying I could probably use a fresh start out the window of the Target. I'm reflecting on life through Cherokee Park. Think about life through Cherokee Park. know that we got it, I might even guarantee it. When she took me up and turned me right into a paraplegic pair of shoes. I got the MB on them, make you stare and see him. We ain't paying for him, now you ought to know I'm wearing free ones. When you go to me, I gotta know, is there a reason it was so abrupt? I kinda had to think that there would be one. Conversations out of state, they asking where are we from, I don't care about you, I got me a chick that's Caribbean. It's a push start, I ain't gotta put the key in. Whip it real nice like a good human being. 24 East, I'm in Chattanooga 10. Yeah, the barbecue Korean and my shorty muy bien. Ay, we just went from dive bars to the Coliseum. Man, he's a try-hard, wouldn't wanna be him. BG, I'm the GM, go ahead, copyright it to him. Go ahead, copyright it. Nah, I wouldn't wanna say too much. We ain't take her from you, now she came to us. Ain't no steak dinner, but we made through brunch. 2-4 on the beat, you know he came through clutch. No, he came through clutch. I know that we got it, I might even guarantee it. When she took me up and turned me right into a paraplegic pair of shoes. I got the MB on them, make you stare and see him. We ain't paying for him, now you ought to know I'm wearing free ones. When you go to me, I gotta know, is there a reason it was so abrupt? I kinda had to think that there would be one. Conversations out of state, they asking where are we from, I don't care about you, I got me a chick that's Caribbean.
La 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 bamba. Shaded.
Well, good afternoon, bot ballers. Looks like we're getting underway for a Jays and Yankees game. I am J-Man93 here with the call and happy to be joined in the booth with EB from Toronto. How's it going, EB?
Going pretty well. How about you?
Doing all right. I got to stop doing these Jays games when they play double headers because I can't handle emotionally watching them lose 3 games in one day.
Yeah, I hear you. And, well, I don't know how this one will go, but we see right there on our screen the records for both of these teams are completely different. There's a 17.5 game difference between the Yankees and the Blue Jays in ball. And this is the first of 4. I don't know. I'm not too optimistic about this, but we'll see.
Yeah, I was a little bit sad today because I realized that this is definitely a game I would have been going to in real life. So, but here I'm just calling it on the bot ball stream.
Well, we're going to be in a throwback Thursday. Maybe we can throw it back to when the Blue Jays were playing decently. They haven't won a series since about the trade deadline, so it's been 3 weeks. They swept the Orioles at home, and after that, they've lost every series. Now they faced teams like the Rays and the Astros and the Cubs, so it's sort of to be expected, but they've really fallen off the pace lately.
Yeah, well, you know what they say, you're never as bad as you are when you're playing bad, and you're never as good as you look when you're playing the Baltimore Orioles. That's just truism in baseball.
Oh yeah, especially nowadays when the Orioles obviously the worst team in the division. But the Blue Jays in their 1977 throwbacks, they look ready to go. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, tough matchup for them. They're going to face Masahiro Tanaka, 13-5, 3.69 earned run average and 163.1 innings pitched. But what I look at when I see him is that whip at 1.19. Does not allow a lot of base runners, so if you're going to get on, you're going to score from him, it's probably going to be a solo home run, which, let's be honest, that's the Jays' specialty, it seems like.
Yeah, there's a lot of power up and down the lineup, but most of these guys don't hit for average. Bo Bichette, though, is an exception, leading off here.
Yeah, Bo is the one we're going to pin all of our hopes on. I mean, I thought it was going to be Vlad coming up, but right now I'm pinning all my hopes on Bo. You get a look at that Yankees defense. They got La Stella at third, Torres at short, Mayhew at second, and Voit at first. 0-1 pitch here, outside, 1-1. And then the outfield, they've got Gardner, Hicks, and Judge. That one's fouled away, and 1-2. Yeah, Bo's hitting .285 on the season here in bot ball, with a good enough for a .352 on base. 16 home runs and 35 doubles. That's where Bo's really been exceptional in the bot ball season with his 35 doubles.
You almost want to put him somewhere in the middle of the lineup, but then you don't have a leadoff hitter.
2-2 hit to right field. Judge gets a glove on it, and if he didn't, that was going to bounce into the seats for a ground rule double. Nice play there by Judge to get over to that ball.
Very nice play. He's a very good outfielder, not just a power hitter, which he's mostly known for, but very good defense as well and a great arm. But for the Blue Jays, it's a good thing. It's a leadoff single.
Yeah, Judge does not get enough credit for how good he is defensively out there. And Vladimir Guerrero sends one down the third baseline. Again, these are two balls that could have been doubles for the Jays, but are just singles. And now they've got runners at first and second and nobody out.
But not a bad plan for Vladdy, attacking the first pitch, and he's grounded into a lot of double plays this year. So it's nice to see him not do that here. See what Travis Shaw can do.
Shaw's been one of the better hitters, more consistent hitters for the Jays, which is quite a surprise to anyone that tuned into these ball games in April and May. There was talk of sending him down, releasing him, but here he is hitting .283 with a .360 on base.
And 23 home runs, so he has the power going.
23 homers, 24 doubles, yeah. Pretty decent season for Travis Shaw. He was, of course, unplayably bad last year.
He was so bad with Milwaukee
Brewers.
Yeah, they actually sent him down to the minors for most of the season.
0-2 pitch fouled away.
Tanaka has a lot of different weapons. He's got the fastball, he's got the curveball, splitter, a lot of things he can use to get hitters out.
Yeah, he may be one of their better pitchers. You know, they've got Garrett Cole, and you ever go, whoa, what about Garrett Cole? But, you know, Masahiro Tanaka has just been there for a long time. He's been in the Bronx. He knows what it's like to have success there. I won't be surprised if he's a game one starter for them. And he gets a big strikeout of Travis Shaw there.
He went with the slider there. Another weapon of his. Down and in, and Shaw swings right through it. And yeah, Tanaka's, he kind of flies under the radar, I think. There's always seems to be someone who you think is better. Like, you know, you talk about Garrett Cole and James Paxton, guys like that. But he's as solid as they come, and he's given the Blue Jays fits over the years.
Yeah, when you think of Tanaka, you think of that famous split finger fastball he throws. But actually, looking at the numbers right here, it's that slider of his that he's thrown most frequently. Threw it 36% of the time last year. Big swing and a miss there from Teoscar Hernandez. Threw it the most in 2018 and 2017. But yeah, it's that slider split finger combination that he likes to go to a lot. This one could be a double play. La Stella firing onto LeMahieu in time to get Teoscar Hernandez. So back-to-back leadoff singles for the Jays are completely stranded. Teoscar Hernandez hits into the inning-ending double play. Going to the bottom of the first in the Bronx, it's 0-0.
Well, we had a typical first inning for the Blue Jays. 2 hits and nothing across, and Nate Pearson on his 24th birthday taking the mound here for the Blue Jays, making his 14th start. He made 5 appearances out of the bullpen. You know, he's been steady up and down, but, you know, the Blue Jays are looking at him and saying what they've gotten there. Hopefully future ace.
Yeah. This is his 14th game that he started, as you said. That 4.48 earned run average, that's pretty decent for a rookie. You know, a lot of people hoping him to be the savior of the team, come up and be an ace right away. But there's going to be some growing pains, and he ended him on the injured list in the real world season.
Yeah, in the real world, just yesterday, he was put on the injured list. Here, as we mentioned, he's celebrating his birthday today, and I'm sure he would love to pick up a victory on his birthday.
Pitch is outside, 2-1. 98 miles an hour. And what we've seen from him in the real season is fastball command has not been there at all. So something I'm watching for in this ball game today to see if real life imitates art. Is this art? I don't know.
I don't know if it's art, but I would rather it not imitate real life, whatever it is.
Now here's the 3-1 pitch for Pearson. That's hit on the ground to Shaw. Makes a nice play there, firing onto first for the out.
Now, you and I were on a call the last time Pearson pitched against the Yankees. It was in Toronto, and he started off pretty well, but then they sort of figured him out second or third time through the lineup.
I honestly don't remember that. I guess I must have blocked it out.
It was not a good ending for us that day. So
yeah,
it's natural to block it out. Yeah, we'll see. The Blue Jays are losers of their last 3 in a row, and as I mentioned, very tough stretch recently against more upper echelon teams. So we talked about the Rays and the Astros, Cubs last weekend. So they've had trouble winning series against teams like that. They've played very well against the lower tier teams like the Orioles, Mariners, etc.
1-1 pitch is hit to Vladimir Guerrero there at first base, who makes the catch. Always an adventure when it's hit to Vlad.
He seems to be okay in fair territory, though. Pop-ups in foul territory in real life are giving him trouble.
Yeah, he overran 2 of them in the Red Sox series. Unfortunately, I haven't blocked that out. And looking at this Jays record, they're 6 games under 500, which the injuries to Roark and Ryu really have decimated this team. Starting rotation depth, they've had to rely on guys like Chase Anderson, Ryan Borucki, and Trent Thornton now. As Aaron Judge pops one up, this is a pretty good first inning here for the Blue Jays. It's popped up to Brandon Drury playing second base today. And a 3-up, 3-down inning for Nate Pearson. So we're going to the second inning. Toronto and New York all knotted up at nothing.
They talked about the injuries to the starting rotation. So guys like Anthony Kay got starts. He struggled. He's back in AAA. Borucki has been in and out of their rotation. Same with Thornton. But I think those guys are going to get opportunities the rest of the way because of those injuries to Ryu and Roark. But I also think what the Blue Jays, what's happened is that this stretch against these upper tier teams has come all at once. So looks like they're crashing down because they're playing a lot of these good teams all at the same time.
Well, they've actually held their own against the division. They're 30-27 against them, which is impressive when you got to play the Yankees and Rays. But like you said, they've been taking care of business against those Orioles, and that'll pad that record for you.
Yeah, I have to imagine that most of those 30 wins have come against Boston and Baltimore.
Yeah, they play them 38 times. Not a big fan of that unbalanced schedule.
No, me neither. I think we talk about that every time we're on the air.
Big swing and a miss there. Down swinging is Lourdes Gurriel Jr. That's the second strikeout of the afternoon for Masahiro Tanaka.
Both of the strikeouts have come on the slider. Here's another one there to Gurriel. He got Shaw with that. Like you mentioned, that pitch he relies on quite a bit.
Yeah, and the Jays are definitely a fastball hitting team. They have a lot of trouble with breaking balls. I feel like that's been their team identity for a long time, too. Like, this is a completely different team from the 2015-2016 Jays. But I just remember going into Cleveland in that 2016 ALCS, and they just completely shut us down with breaking balls.
Yeah, and they could never make the adjustment, too. And Cleveland had a very good strategy, and they put it on display, and I guess other teams took note, and they've been doing the same thing to the Blue Jays ever since.
Swinging at 2-0, Tellez sends one weakly to left field. Gardner there to make the catch. Surprised you got to that one. I figured you'd be playing Tellez a little bit deeply, because Tellez does have power in that bat, but Gardner playing him shallow, able to get that catch. Brings up Danny Jansen, the catcher. And he's got 18 home runs on the year. He was on a home run binge earlier in the season. really solidified him as the everyday guy over Reese McGuire in that span. Sends that one to center field. It's going to fall for a base hit. And Danny Jansen's on with a 2-out single.
Third hit of the day already for the Blue Jays. And pretty nice swing there from Jansen. And, using the bigger part of the field, not trying to pull everything. Now this guy, I hope, plays like the real deal. Grichuk hopefully plays like the real Grichuk.
Yeah, I mean, Ball's done pretty good, or MLB The Show has done pretty good with simming a lot of these guys. But, you know, it's impossible to figure out when a guy's going to have a breakout or something's going to click. And I really hope something has finally clicked for Randall Grichuk. He has been excellent in the early going in the real season. But my God, as you look at these numbers, they are not good. And surprisingly, there's been no power for Grichuk. He's only slugging .391. That's after he hit a career-high 31 home runs last year.
Yeah, 31 home runs last year, and that led the team even though he didn't bat for high average. Now he's not doing either. No average and no power. So in the ball world, the extension is not looking so good.
You know, the best of no worlds there, right there. Takes outside 3-1, working the count here. That's the other thing he's been doing in the real season, and
that's in. Ball 4.
Works a walk there, so that is only the 36th walk he's taken this season.
Batting 9. The second base.
Does have a couple of home runs in his career against Tanaka. Maybe that's what Tanaka was thinking, but still, Bot Grichuk you should go after. And we see Brandon Drury getting a start at second. Kevin Biggio was struggling so much that he's been placed on the bench for the most part.
Yeah, that's the other disappointing thing is the way they've simmed Kevin Biggio. I mean, they didn't get him right at all. They definitely got Vladimir Guerrero right. That's pretty much exactly how he's playing. That one's hit right back to Tanaka. Nice play there, fielding his position. And he gets Drury at first base. So the Jays strand 2 more base runners this inning. We're going to the bottom of the second. Still 0-0.
As the real Blue Jays trail the Phillies 2-0.
Leading off for the Yankees.
Yep. Both of these teams are playing in real life right now. Jays and Phillies in Buffalo, and the Yankees in Tampa. And that one is in New York. Yankees lead that one 1-0 in the middle of the third. So stick with us. We'll be providing you updates on those real games, as well as calling a bot ball game for you as well.
You gotta be multitasking now. But yeah, stick around here on Twitch. You might get some funny commentary. You might get some depressed commentary, depending on how this game goes. But we'll try to have fun.
Yeah, gotta call it. Might as well try to have fun.
Yeah.
Giancarlo Stanton, boy, what a season he's having for them. 41 home runs in 123 games. Ripped through the hole on the left side past Bichette, and he's on board with a leadoff single.
Bang, 296. You mentioned the 41 home runs, 25 doubles. That struck out 140 times, but that goes with the territory of a power hitter. I think he's finally becoming the player that Yankees fans wanted to see when he was acquired.
Well, he's always injured is the problem, and that's another thing that this simulation did not get correct, is Judge and Stanton playing full seasons.
Yeah, that's quite surprising. This guy Sanchez missed some time. He's been injured often, so they got that right.
Yeah. But it's been a very rare occurrence for Stanton or Judge not to miss time. Big swing and a miss there from Gary Sanchez, and it's 1-2.
Pearson goes with a changeup. Obviously, he's known for his fastball, which in real life has touched 100 in the past.
One-two pitch, misses low. I mean, he throws a slider at like 93 miles an hour, which is, I think, Tanner Roark's fastball.
And I don't think MLB The Show did a very good job on Pearson either.
You think he should have less fastball command?
No, I think he should be throwing harder, and there's a walk, so the first 2 reach here. Not a good start to this inning.
Let's see if the Yankees can cash in on the first 2 reaching. The Jays have been unable to cash in any runs when they've had 2 runners on. Yeah, you got to bear down now. You are Nate Pearson, because there are no easy outs in this Yankees lineup. 6, 7, and 8 for the Yankees could be 2, 3, and 4 for most teams. I mean, Aaron Hicks has a .912 OPS and 17 home runs in only 62 games.
I mean, most of these guys would be probably in the middle of the order for the Blue Jays. Actually, I think all of them would be.
Yeah, every single hitter on this team is better than... you would even put Tommy La Stella 4th on the Jays.
I mean, you see they're doing so many averages, like 230, 236, 239. There's like not one in this line. The lowest one was Gary Sanchez. He's 259. We'd kill for that in Toronto.
And that's from the catching spot.
Yeah. Earlier in the year when the Blue Jays and the Yankees were playing, I was talking about that. There's the ERAs were very similar at the time, but team batting average was much higher for the Yankees, and there lies the difference.
And a big swing and a miss there. That's a big out there for Nate Pearson. A big strikeout of Hicks with a runner on scoring position and nobody out.
Elevated fastball there. It's Hicks to swing right through it.
Yeah, when you got 98-mile-an-hour heat, you might as well use it. Boy, Luke Voigt, season he's having, hitting .310 there, 24 home runs. Good for a .961 OPS.
He's batting 7th, and he has a .310 average, which, as you saw in that graphic, is second on the team.
Skies this one to center field. Grichuk giving chase, and he's going to make the catch in front of the wall. Tagging at second, but not going to advance there wisely is Stanton. And now there are 2 outs.
See if he can get the always pesky Brett Gardner and get out of this inning.
Yeah, 276 average for him, 355 on base, and a 500 slugging. When did Brett Gardner figure out how to slug?
I don't know, but he still has the speed. You saw in that graphic, 17 stolen bases. They highlighted that when he came up. That is most in the starting lineup.
17 stolen bases, only caught 4 times. And that's good enough to get him up on the stolen bases leaderboard, too. I believe he's 6th in the American League, 3 behind Delino DeShields.
He's still getting it done at his age. He's the veteran on this team.
This is a big pitch here for Pearson. He's got ahead of Gardner, 1 and 2. And he puts him away on a 4-seam fastball down and in. Big strikeout there from Nate. The first 2 reach, but he goes strikeout, fly out, and strikeout to get out of the inning without allowing any damage. Going to the 3rd, we're still scoreless in the Bronx. Heidi Watney reminding you that we do this for charity. Our charity this week is Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels is a service that provides meals to elderly and sick people in their homes all across the country. So it's a very great service. If you could donate to that, any spare change you got, it's a great cause. We ask you to donate to that cause. 3rd inning here, and Bo Bichette is going to lead off the inning. Top of the order for the Jays, 1, 2, and 3. Tanaka, 32 pitches through 2 innings. He's been pretty good.
It's allowed 3 hits, but no runs. One of these hits was to Bichette, who is now 6 for 13 in his career against Tanaka.
He's been able to bear down whenever he's had runners on. And we said before the game, his whip is quite low. He usually doesn't allow a lot of base runners, and that may come back to haunt the Jays, not taking advantage of those base runners they had early on.
You really have to take advantage of early opportunities, because once these starters settle in, they're going to be hard to get to. And the bullpen for this Yankees team, other than the long relievers, is very good.
Bobbled by LaStella there at third, but nice recovery to get Bichette for the first out.
Now batting, the first baseman, Vladimir.
And in real life baseball, the Blue Jays just turned a nice double play to get out of 2 on and 1 out in the second inning, but they still trail by 2.
It's only a 7-inning game because of the doubleheader there in Buffalo. So
yeah,
they don't have as many opportunities to come back against the Philadelphia Phillies.
And in the Yankee-Tampa Bay game, Yankees have runners on second and third in the bottom of the third with 1 out. And Gleyber Torres is at bat there. Vladimir Guerrero is at bat here for our game, though. And he fouls that one away, and it's 0-2. Always seems like there's an 0-2 count on Vladdy.
Yeah, he was able to get a single his last time up. Looks like he checked Julius.
Yeah, and what I've been watching in the real games is Vladdy really likes to point to the first base ump himself whenever there's a check swing call. Swing and a miss there on another slider. That's the 3rd strikeout, and they've all been on that slider.
He's going to go to that a lot. He talked about that to start today, and that one was way outside off the plate. Vladdy chased it anyway. Talk about the pointing to the umpire. The first guy I saw doing that is Miguel Cabrera. I think a lot of players learn from him.
Well, he's a good guy to learn from, unless you're trying to learn dieting and exercise habits. Which I think is what Vladimir Guerrero did learn from Miguel Cabrera.
In addition to that pointing to the umpire, yeah.
Now Travis Shaw sends the first pitch he sees from Tanaka to Gardner out there in left field, and it's an easy 1-2-3 inning for him. So going to the bottom of the third, we're still scoreless in the Bronx.
Leading off for the Yankees, the third baseman, Tommy.
Now, bottom of the third inning, Tommy LaStella going to lead things off here for the Yankees. 283 average, 15 home runs for him, and a 367 on-base percentage. That's great having that 367 on base at the bottom of your lineup. I don't have the numbers right off the top of my head here, but I think 367 would probably be tops on the Jays.
I'll tell you in just a second. I'm going to flip pages here. Let's see, we got Bichette 352. Right now Travis Shaw, he's got 361. That's at the top of the list. So yeah, if LaStella were on the Jays, he would be the leader.
Best on-base threat they have. Hitting 9th for the Yankees, though.
Now, he was leading off for the Angels the last time I saw him play against the Blue Jays. He's going to fly that one out to center field.
Leading off and playing first base, so again, that's the versatility of him. He can play second and third as well. Yeah, he probably could stick him in the outfield, and he'd probably do okay.
Yeah, and they acquired him right after that series, and I remember the last time you had the Angels-Jays game, he had the go-ahead home run. So I just wanted to throw that in there after his at-bat was finished.
DJ LeMahieu comes up. He's 0 for 1 today. And LaStella had a walk-off home run in real life against the Giants the other day, too.
Yeah, I saw that. The Giants are kind of a bit of a hot mess with the way they manage their bullpen.
It's interesting the way things are going to shake out the regular season. This one's hit to Guerrero there, down the line, makes the play himself. Because you're going to be playing the same teams over and over again, so either teams are going to figure it out and the talent's going to level out, or you're just going to get a lot of wins against the Giants, Who's that other team that's doing bad in the NL West?
Well, the Diamondbacks started off poorly, but they've actually done better recently. So it's really just the Giants. Yeah, you're talking about in real life, right? Not in Bopal.
Yeah, in real life.
Yeah, you've seen in Bopal,
The
we see the
Rockies,
standings there.
Padres, Dodgers, they're all pretty decent.
Yeah. So it's really just the Giants. But in the American League West, because those teams play each other too, the Mariners aren't off to a very good start, which is to be expected because they're in a rebuild.
Yeah. You know, that may end up helping the Jays in a playoff race in the real season because they're not going to get first or second in the American League East. And you think about the teams that are going to get there. It's going to be Yankees, Tampa. It's going to be Minnesota and Cleveland. It's going to be Oakland, Houston. So they got to compete against the White Sox. They got to compete against the Red Sox. They got to compete against Seattle, the Angels. Those teams aren't doing that well.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
And of course...
and the Orioles.
Yeah, and of course they don't play most of those teams in the regular season, just the teams in the East. So, unlike in the regular...
They could sneak in. You know, if they are 7 or 8, I hope they're not playing the Yankees at number 1.
Now, it's going to be interesting because you play in this shortened season. You just play the teams in your division in the identical division in the National League. And then when you get to the playoffs, you're going to face all these teams you haven't seen. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I thought they should have probably done something where, like, the East teams are only playing the East teams, so you're only fighting those teams for playoff spots. And same thing with the Central and West, but then you run into odd numbers and it gets very confusing and hard to schedule. It's probably why they did it the way they did, but it makes the most sense logically to only be competing against teams you're playing. Judge sends one to medium center field. Grichuk is there for the final out. So, after 3 innings in the books, we are still scoreless going to the 4th inning. And EB's going to take over doing play-by-play here for innings 4 through 6 for you.
All right, we are in Throwback Thursday. You see these beautiful 1977 road jerseys for the Blue Jays, the powder blues they wore back when they started. Of course, now they have an updated version of that, which I kind of like.
Yeah. Me too. They've been wearing it a lot, too, in the regular season.
Yeah, they're wearing it today. They wore it, I think, all 3 games in Baltimore. Teoscar Hernandez leads things off here for the Blue Jays. 0 for 1 with a ground out. He swings at that slider, and he's quickly down 0-2.
I think Teoscar in this season in Bopball has actually run his name up the leaderboard there for doubles. You see 33 on the season. He's actually 12th in the league.
But he strikes out swinging there, a 4th strikeout, this time on a fastball from Tanaka. You see the pitch speed comparison brought to you by Topps. Pearson wins that battle, 99. Tanaka at 94.
I don't know what's real life and what is imaginary anymore because Teoscar Hernandez just struck out against the Phillies as well at the exact same time as Bot Teoscar Hernandez struck out.
So art, or whatever this is, does imitate life. In this case, Gurriel takes a strike. 1 for 15 against Tanaka. So far on the screen, the only good numbers I've seen were from Bo Bichette against Tanaka.
What if we're the simulation?
You mean maybe we're not real? Maybe we're robot?
Yeah, what possible. If this is just simulation too?
Gurriel puts that one in play. Judge kind of nonchalantly makes the play, 2 outs.
Yeah, when you hit it out there to right field in Yankee Stadium, you always hold your breath a little bit. You know, you hit it 310 feet. That's almost enough for a home run there.
2 outs, and now Rowdy Tellez, who hit one to Brett Gardner his first time up. Rowdy's 0 for 1 now. He started this season off really well. We all got excited, but he's really fallen off the pace since. Coming into today, batting just .236.
Yeah, if you're going to slump, make sure you don't do it at the beginning of the year because it takes a while for people to catch up to your numbers. Like, that's what's happening with Teoscar Hernandez in the real season. He started off really well, but he hasn't been good for a while, for at least a week.
Yeah, it's tough. This is, for the Blue Jays here in Valpo, these dog days of August have really been a tough stretch. Schedule has not done them any favor, that's for sure. And like I mentioned, all these teams with much better records than them.
No, they're not playing the bad teams well either. They just lost 2 in a row to St. Louis.
Yeah, that was a bit surprising because St. Louis has a worse record than the Blue Jays, and they played 4 games. St. Louis won all 4 this year.
Never been a fan of the Cardinals. Take
2-2
that, John
pitch.
Hamm.
Fouled back. So at least Rowdy's seeing some pitches here.
Yeah, maybe get that pitch count up.
Yeah, he had 2-0 count the last time, and he swung and did a fly ball. So he has a full count here. Danny Jansen on deck if Tellez reaches. Full count from Tanaka. Grounded into the shift, and LeMahieu makes the play. So it's another 3-up, 3-down inning for Masahiro Tanaka. To the bottom of the 4th we go, still with no score in the Bronx.
Yeah, Tanaka's really settled down since allowing 2 base runners that 1st and 2nd inning. He's gone and retired 7 straight Jays now. Like I said, we may regret not taking advantage of those early base runners.
Yeah, it always seems to come back to haunt you. As Giancarlo, don't call me Mike Stanton, leads things off here for the Yankees. I don't know if you remember when he first came up with, it was the Florida Marlins. He was known as Mike Stanton.
Oh, I sure remember that. I'm from the South Florida area originally, and I've rooted for those Florida Marlins off and on, but once Lariah owned the team, I couldn't bring myself to do it anymore.
Of course, he's gone now, and former Yankee Derek Jeter is running things. And I actually like what he's doing, because he's kind of cleaning out the mess that Loria left behind. As Mike Giancarlo falls on back. You know, he's saying, you know, he just wants to wash his hands of that mess and start fresh, and that's probably a good thing for the Marlins, even if it doesn't look good very good now.
You may remember this name, the name Gary Denbo. Does that ring any bells to you?
Yeah, I think he was he like...
he was a hitting coach for the Jays for a season, but he was Mr. Yankee, basically. He was a hitting coach, a long-time hitting coach for the Yankees, and he was a hitting coach for specifically Derek Jeter. And after he only lasted 1 season as the Jays hitting coach because basically wherever he goes, people don't like him.
Now, he had something with Miami, right?
Yeah, Derek Jeter immediately hired him to run things with the Miami Marlins organization. And I read a really interesting article.
That one's on the ground to Vlad Guerrero Jr., and he feeds to Pearson covering. That's the first out.
Yeah, I read an interesting article about when Jeter took over for the Marlins. He didn't really know that many people inside baseball, so he immediately went with Gary Denbo. And Denbo is actually like harming the Marlins organizations in some ways. Like, a lot of people think it's a very toxic working relationship with him now. And the article I read in specific was that Denbo went to a AA affiliate of the Marlins and picked a fight with the Bat Dogs.
Oh my goodness. So maybe
he went down there and was like, why are there dogs here? I don't like them. This is a disgrace. They shouldn't be here, you know. And these dogs have been with this team for like generations. 20 years these dogs have been on the team.
Really?
And so the very next year, even though Derek Jeter went and made a personal appearance, they said, we don't want to work with the Marlins anymore because we cannot work with Gary Denbo.
So maybe I spoke too soon about him doing the right thing and trying to clean up the mess. Maybe he's trying to do the right thing, but he doesn't have the right people doing it.
Well, he wants to make the Marlins like the Yankees organization. And the Yankees organization is an organization to me that just doesn't enjoy fun.
There's another foul ball from Gary Sanchez. Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess they have fun playing baseball. But yeah, from like the outside looking in, it doesn't look like they enjoy too much of anything. And it's probably something that was set by George Steinbrenner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, whenever I think of what you call that?
There's a fly ball to right, and Teoscar makes the nonchalant play as well.
I just love that Simpsons episode of where they're all playing the softball league for the power plant, because Mr. Burns is just such a Hank Steinbrenner kind of guy, kind of person. And I just love him picking a fight with Don Mattingly the whole episode. Just going, Mattingly, I thought I told you, get rid of those sideburns. Mattingly has no sideburns whatsoever.
Yeah, didn't he have that beef in real life with Steinbrenner? Something like that about the mullet or something like that?
Yeah.
I know that there's like a quote from somebody who used to work for the Yankees. I think it was like the traveling secretary. Is that's going to be fly ball? And no, the graphic glitch, and it drops for a base hit. We had that the last time I was on call with Teoscar. You can see it in the highlights channel. This time Randall Grichuk has a technical glitch and misses the ball.
Yeah, that's where the game algorithm had to correct it. They said, nah, he's not good enough to catch this. We got to move him 3 feet over here.
Oh my goodness.
Doing some quantum jumping there, and Randall Grichuk. Unbelievable.
It'll be a 2-out single, apparently.
I forgot even what I was talking about when that happened.
So we were talking about Steinbrenner, and I was going to say, so there's a quote from somebody, I don't know if it was a traveling secretary or something like that, and he said, when they were on the road and there was a phone call at like 3 a.m., you knew it was either George Steinbrenner being angry about something or a death in the family, and at some point you were hoping it's a death in the family.
That's terrible. Oh, God.
So Pearson is ahead of Voigt, 0-2. Tries to get into pace.
I also remember when Joe Girardi was the manager, he instituted like a policy in the clubhouse where the Yankees weren't allowed to have candy. And I remember Mike Mussina being upset about that. It's like, yeah, man, I can't have any candy. So that's what I mean when I say the Yankees don't seem to be an organization that likes fun. And Girardi managed the Marlins as well. He brought that no fun attitude to them. I think the Marlins and the Yankees are the only teams that have no facial hair policies.
That gets past Guerrero, so now 2 on with 2 outs for the Yankees.
The left fielder, number 11.
Yeah, more great Vladdy defense there at first. I was listening to the Jays game this week, and Buck and Dan were talking about Vladimir Guerrero's conditioning. You remember in the offseason, there was big talk about how he was doing all his conditioning and he was going to come in best shape. Well, Dan was saying that got away from the conditioning during the shutdown, and that's exactly why they had to move him off a third.
That one's on the ground to Bichette. He goes to second for the force, and now in the inning. Yeah, Vladdy, and I thought that when he first showed up at spring, he did a nice job and he looked good. But obviously the shutdown did not do him any favors. I think that, I was
really disappointed in that.
Yeah, they had the shutdown, and then they said, well, you're not going to play third anymore, now you're going to play first base. So he had to, he's really learning it on the fly, is what he's doing, and it's very tough to do that.
Because, you read all the things about him. He's got amazing hand-eye coordination. He's got all of this sort of stuff. And he came into spring training in pretty decent shape. I was interested to see, could he improve his defense there at third? Because if he's at third base, this team is just so much different. You can put a guy like Teoscar Hernandez at DH every now and then. But with Vlad at first and DH, because he's so out of shape, your defense suffers immensely.
Dang, Jansen lead things off, takes a strike. Yeah, and I think Rowdy Tellez is probably a better defender than Vlad at this point first. But again, if Vlad doesn't get the reps, he's not going to get better at it. But when you're trying to win games and he has balls getting past him every single day, that's a detriment too. So Jays are in a bit of a pickle now in real life.
And again, I'm saying I don't know what is real life anymore because Julian Merriweather is in a game?
Apparently,
That can't be a real game.
Is he a real guy?
That's the simulated game. This has got to be the real thing.
And Julian Merriweather making his MLB debut. He was a player that the Blue Jays acquired for Josh Donaldson a couple of years ago from Cleveland. He may seem in the baseball world. We got September call-ups coming up. You never know. 2-2 to Jansen, and another slider and another swing and a miss for Tanaka. 5th strikeout.
Wow, that slider's been very good for Tanaka coming into today.
There's Randall Grichuk, who walked his first time up. You're talking about players coming in the best shape of their lives to spring training. Usually that means they get injured pretty quickly. And you saw that the graphic there as 4 home runs that Grichuk has against Tanaka. I guess that's why he kind of pitched around him. I remember I said a couple. It's actually a couple times 2. But yeah, I think I know. There was a story by Vernon Wells one year. He said, I'm on a diet. It was a spring training. I'm in the best shape of my life. And he hurt his calf or his hamstring the first game of spring training.
Yeah, they've been exercising too much. Those muscles are now tight. Maybe you got to put a little bit of meat on those bones instead.
I
Be a
guess
Babe
so.
Ruth guy eating hot dogs and hitting homers. I wouldn't care if that's who Vladimir Guerrero turned out to hit like with Babe Ruth. He can look like that all he wants.
2-2 to Grichuk, and another slider and another swing and a miss.
Whew. Yeah, that is now 9 in a row retired by Tanaka. They just get stronger as the game goes on.
He's making it look fairly easy now, too. Brandon Drury grounded out his first time up.
Yeah, 3 of these last 5 outs, all on the strikeout. All on sliders, too.
Can't really imagine being in Charlie Montoya's shoes here. You have Brandon Drury, who's batting .211 now. He can play second. See, the former Yankee acquired from the Yankees in 2018. Or you can have Kevin Biggio play second. He's batting around 180, 190. Or you can have Joe Panik play second. And he's batting around 200. So there really is a huge void at second base for the Blue Jays. Although Drury is now ahead in the count 3-0.
I feel like the Jays have been cursed at second base ever since Alomar left. I mean, can you think of a guy that's played second base that's had more than one good season?
No, well,
Aaron Hill was okay.
Yeah.
But he only really had like one really good season.
He was supposed to be the guy. They ended up sending him to Arizona.
Yeah, Orlando Hudson was pretty good defensively.
As a 2-out walk issued by Tanaka to the number 9 hitter.
Now batting.
Homer Bush had one really good year in 1998.
Thinking about more recently, they tried Brett Lawrie. He came in as the third baseman, but they tried him second.
Devin Travis, who I was really excited about.
Yeah, Travis I thought would be the next guy, but once again, injuries, and he couldn't stay on the field. So, in real life, it will probably be Kevin Biggio. Here in the ball universe, Biggio has been more than awful. One of the Bichette's in for a strike, so, I mean, it's a real problem. We'll see again in about 12 days with September call-ups what happens with this roster. There's a big swing and a miss there, 1 and 2.
I'm worried about third base for the Jays for the future going forward, to be honest, though. That's why I was upset that they didn't even try with Vlad there at third, and I was disappointed about that weight loss because, Rafael Devers, his first year in the majors, he was also 20. He didn't hit that great, and his defense was pretty bad. I was hoping maybe some sort of career improvement.
That one's on the ground and past Luke Voigt, so the Blue Jays get another man on, another hit for Bo Bichette, the second of the game.
Well, Tanaka retired 10 straight, and now, again, the Jays have 2 on in an inning. But there are 2 outs, so they need a little 2-out magic here from Vladimir Guerrero, who just got a base hit in the real game.
And Tanaka got a very favorable call on that pitch from the home plate umpire. So he's down 0-1. 0-1 is going to be on the ground foul. So now he's 0-2. See, Tanaka this inning, 22 pitches. He's up to 79, going to deliver number 80 now. And Vlad swings and misses it. Something in the dirt. They go to first to complete the strikeout, and that will do it. So the Blue Jays get a couple of men on, but don't do damage. They think risk is an allergy, so we go to the bottom of the 5th with no score.
Yeah, Tanaka ends up striking out the side there. He allowed that base on ball on that single, but again, he's throwing a heck of a ball game today.
Tanaka's doing his thing as he always does, and Yankees will send up 9-1-2 in the order, so it'll be the 3rd time through when LeMahieu comes up. We'll see what Pearson does. See Tommy LaStella, he talked about the no facial hair policy for the Yankees, but he was somehow exempt after he was traded.
Yeah, that's the loophole, is you can just trade guys in the MLB The Show, and they don't figure out they have to trade them to the Yankees. That's the only 2 things that this game has done wrong, is the Yankees' facial hair and long relievers.
Now, the Blue Jays are probably without their long man today. Chase Anderson started yesterday, left I think after an inning with a day-to-day injury, and Sean Reed Foley came in after him. He's the long man, and he came out with a day-to-day injury, so there's no long man today for the Blue Jays, and they may not have one this entire series. We'll see how that plays out. They have 4 games here at Yankee Stadium, and then they go to Kansas City for 3 games. 2-1 pitch.
Could be a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, we'll see. Unfortunately, the middle relief guys got knocked around yesterday. 2-2 pitches inside. That would be AJ Cole, Wilmer Font. They really got knocked around by the Cardinals in the late innings of the game yesterday.
Yeah, Wilmer Font is...
Another one over the head of Vladdy. This one will roll all the way to the wall. Estella is going to make his way to second base. The throw will be offline from Teoscar, so it's a leadoff double for the Yankees.
Now batting, the second baseman.
Yeah, hot shot right over Vladdy's head. He's unable to get it. Not the greatest speed there of Listella. I was surprised he was able to get there into second base. Teoscar's got a pretty decent arm out there at right. It's one of the few things he does well defensively.
So DJ LeMahieu 0 for 2 takes inside for a ball.
Yeah, if you can keep this guy off the bases in the game, you've done something right. 3.02 average for him.
1-0 is in for a strike. 1-1. He, of course, had very good years with the Colorado Rockies.
348 in 2016.
Yeah. Originally drafted by the Cubs, and he was traded to Colorado. And had good years there. Everyone said it's the Coors effect. But he's come to Yankee Stadium. Hasn't played a lot of Coors at all, obviously, now with being in the American League. And he's put up very good numbers as a Yankee as well.
Yeah, he's also an opposite field kind of guy, and the short porch in right field will play to that kind of swing, that's for sure.
Hey, you see this Yankees lineup with a lot of right-handed bats. 2-2 pitch on the ground up the middle. That's going to sneak through for a base hit. Coming around third is Listella. The throw from Grichuk is a good one, but not in time, and the Yankees take a 1-0 lead.
Wow, and that was a pretty good throw from Grichuk. I thought the cutoff man was going to cut it off to keep LeMahieu from going to second base, but LeMahieu didn't even advance to second base anyways.
So 1-0 Yankees. We see the guys in the bullpen already, Font and Dull. And that's going to be a fair ball.
Oh,
Just
boy.
inside the line and another base hit. So 3 consecutive hits for the Yankees here to lead off the inning. And Pearson's in trouble, and Torres has a 10-game hitting streak.
Yeah, again, Mayhew not advancing, just going station to station. He stopped there at second base. I was quite surprised by that one. And I guess respecting the arm of Gurriel out there in left. And yeah, Nate Pearson in a bit of trouble here in the 5th. He was cruising through 4, but a lot of trouble here this inning.
Third time through the lineup. Well, Stella getting his second plate appearance. His Judge comes up and takes the ball, but this is what happened last time you and I called the game. And of course, it was in the middle innings when I was on the call that the Yankees figured him out. Same thing today. That's popped up. Actually, went a lot farther than I thought.
Mayhew's going halfway.
Grichuk makes the play, so no advance for the runners. That's a good start. If you can limit the damage, it will be huge.
Yeah, I was surprised Grichuk didn't fire to second. LeMahieu was going halfway there. He could have probably had a chance at him. That was some weird base running this inning from LeMahieu.
As the real Blue Jays get a run back, it's 2-1. Giancarlo Stanton takes a ball. Single and a ground out for the DH. Pearson fires. A nice strike down the middle.
He's playing DH, but he can play the field. He's a good fielder. He played right field for the Marlins in that ridiculous outfield that had Ozuna, Yelich, and Stanton.
Yeah. He's played a bit of left field for the Yankees this year, especially in National League ballparks. But they have pretty good outfielders as he swings and misses there with Gardner.
Yeah, they've got Tauchman and Frazier, which would also be the best outfielders on this Jays team.
Yeah, like with Gardner, Hicks is a very good center fielder, and Judge, we talked about his arm earlier, so that's going to miss high. So I think with Stanton, you just let him focus on the bat, get that hitting.
And big play just happened in the real Yankees-Rays game. Rays just tied it up on a 2-run double.
That's a fly ball to left field. Going back is Gurriel. Still going back, and that one is gone.
Ooh.
It's a 3-run home run for Giancarlo Stanton. And now it's 4-0 Yankees, and John Sterling is saying something in Italian in the radio booth.
Giancarlo! John Magaro!
Something along those lines, and the third time through the order is a nightmare for Pearson yet again.
Yeah, he went double, single, home run, and 4 runs in this inning. And probably should take him out of this game. I'm not sure why Montoya is still keeping him in this game right now.
So, there's the difference. That's why there's a 17.5 game difference between these teams. One team gets guys on base and strands them every inning. The other team gets base hits, strings them together, and puts a big hurting on you. Gary Sanchez takes a strike.
Yeah, it's just you can never take a break in this lineup is the thing. No easy outs. There's no time where you can take a deep breath.
There's another big swing there, but fouls it off. Crooked numbers, that's a real big issue with this Yankees team, and Blue Jays just don't have that offensive power to put up a lot of crooked numbers.
Yeah, that's the thing, is I think they do. It's just I don't think this game is simmed that for them.
1-2 to Stanton, or Sanchez is going to be outside, 2-2. That one, for some reason, was called a ball.
Yeah,
So it's
6
a
men
tough.
sent to the plate this inning and still only 1 out. This has been a very rough inning for Pearson, and he's at 100 pitches already.
And there's the walk. So this inning will continue, and he's at 101 pitches. We'll see if that is the end of the night for him.
Toyo, get your boy. Come on, what are you doing? Take him out of this game. He clearly doesn't have it this inning.
And here
Finally.
it comes. He's been listening to you. No long man, so we'll see which of the middle relief gas cans comes out here.
I'm going to guess Pinot. Yeah, not a great start for Nate Pearson. It looked promising coming into this inning. But yeah, that third time through the order is just a tough, and it's, oh boy, Wilmer Font.
Wilmer Font in a 6.06 ERA. Excellent choice.
Oh boy, when did it get that high?
Yeah, not really sure. He had a pretty good season. See the righties, 349. Oh my goodness. Well, he's going to face the lefties, so that's a good thing, maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure when his numbers got like so elevated. He was having a pretty decent year just like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, boy, yeah, relievers' ERAs can just skyrocket on you. Yeah, Font has played for a lot of guys. Played for the Rays, Rangers, Dodgers, A's, and the Mets.
1-1.
He was an opener for a lot of time last year with the Blue Jays. He actually did pretty well in that role.
Yeah.
And this year in the middle relief role, like he was doing pretty well for a while, but obviously not recently.
He was doing terrible for the Mets last year, I think it was. And they released him. Toronto picked him up, and they put him in that opener role, and he was pretty good for them in that role. But then, this year, not in that opener role, he's been back to being garbage.
We'll see if any more moves are made, even though I don't really think the Blue Jays, they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
There really is no one to fill these roles, so we're just going to have to suffer through this for another month and change. And there's a walk, so he walks the switch hitter batting left-handed, which, based on the numbers, is actually an advantage for him, but now he's going to face a right-handed bat in Luke Voigt.
You got him, you use him. You use him, he kills you. That's the old adage.
Yeah. The real Blue Jays have bases loaded with Grichuk coming up, and yeah.
I know normally I would be like, oh god, no, not Grichuk, but this year I'm like, thank god it's Grichuk.
Yeah, he's been on fire in real life, especially against the Orioles, which he always hits well, but especially in that series they just played.
Yeah, he lines out to short.
Of course.
Do you know why? It's because I just picked him up on my fantasy team.
1 ball.
Big swing and a miss there from Luke Voigt, so Font has count leverage 1 and 2. And he hung that one, and that's going to get through for a base hit. So that will load the bases.
This has been an absolute disaster of an inning for the Jays.
Of course, we expected this because it is the Blue Jays and the Yankees, and there's, I mentioned, 17.5 game difference between them in the standings.
Gardner is now the 9th Yankee to bat this inning, and bearing a double play miracle. They're going to send 10 men to the plate this inning and bat around.
I told you to bring the alcohol right before the game. I don't usually drink. There's a big swing and a miss there. He helps him out on that sinker.
I'm going to need something a little bit stronger than alcohol.
One is swung on and missed. So he hasn't had problems getting 2 strikes on guys, but not putting them away.
Tampa has just taken the lead over the Yankees in the real game. And that's who Toronto's going to play next in the real world, and Tampa's playing really well. But after that, we're done with them. After that, you don't have to see them anymore.
Thank
which
God.
is the stupidity of this season.
2-2. Yeah. You know what else I don't like about
They're at their best. We're probably at our worst, and we'll have to play them 10 times in that time frame.
Yeah. Tell you what I don't like about this season either is another foul that they have 10 games against division rivals, right? And they didn't make it even 5 in one ballpark and 5 in the other. It's 6-4. Or 7-3, I think, something like that. So, of the 10 games the Blue Jays play against the Rays, 7 of them are at the House of Horrors known as Tropicana Field. Full count to Gardner. Ball 4. God. Bases loaded walk.
Walking in a run.
The third baseman.
3 walks this inning. 2 of them by Font. And the last one gives up a bases loaded walk, scoring Gary Sanchez, who, was on by a base on ball.
Tommy La Stella started this inning with a double. Score a run. The only out that's been recorded this inning was the fly ball that Aaron Judge hit to center field. That was when Pearson was still in the game.
Ooh, boy. Yeah, still only 1 out. The Yankees looking to bust this one open with a base hit here. And La Stella is a pretty good guy to get a base hit. He's not a usual Yankee power guy. He's a high contact kind of guy. And he's from New Jersey, so Yankees like those guys that have lived in their area.
Yeah, one of the La Stella is in for a strike.
I was thinking Todd Frazier.
Yeah. 1-1. It's popped up. Shaw makes the play. And there are 2 outs. Thinking that Umer Font may not live in New Jersey, but he might start looking at the bus routes from New York to Buffalo, or New York City to Buffalo.
Well, you can get a Bolt bus for $1.
DJ LeMahieu singled this inning, takes a strike.
I would not recommend taking one of those Chinatown Peter Pan buses. Those ones scare me. All of them scare me, to be honest.
That one gets away from Jansen, but not far enough for anyone to advance. Even though LeMahieu was kind of like waving him in.
He was waving him forward. The ball right in front of him. That was absurd.
Do you want to get thrown out at home? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, I think LeMahieu's got dinner reservations. Like, come on, hurry this up.
(2-1) with the bases loaded and 2 outs. It's going to be fouled away.
Yeah, LeMahieu's a free agent after this season, and it'd be interesting to see the kind of contract he gets.
Sends that one up the middle, but Bichette makes the play, and just by like half a step they get him, but Giancarlo Stanton parked one in the left field seats. I'm cursing in Italian, but that's what it is. Not that I know any Italian curses.
Giancarlo Stanton, bon voyage!
So we go to the top of the 6th inning.
I could do that because I am Italian. So
okay, I know. Yeah, I don't know any Italian, so
I don't know any Italian either.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay.
I know a little Spanish, un poco. Llevo 6 meses estudiando español, pero tengo que aprender mucho todavía.
That's out.
As Tanaka now with a 5-run lead, deals a ball to Travis Shaw. I should know more French than I do because I obviously live in Canada and I took French all through high school, all the way to the end, but I haven't used it in so long that I'm really rusty.
Yeah, well, I grew up in Florida, and I took Spanish all the time, and based on what I just said, you'd assume, Spanish schooling was pretty good. But no, I took some classes last year. I took 2 Spanish language classes. I studied it for 6 months, and that's how I know everything that I know. That's exactly what I said in Spanish. Is I've been studying for 6 months, and I have a lot to learn still.
So you took classes like at school?
Yeah, just like night class. It was like once a week. It was like 7 to 10 or 7 to 9, something like that. And I learned a lot. And then I also did Duolingo for a while, but my phone is so terrible right now that it won't load anymore. So
I was going to mention that because my brother wants to learn languages, and he came up to me and said, I'm going to learn a new language. I said, okay, how are you going to do it? He said, well, there's this app that just teaches you And I mean, I could see that, but I don't know that I would be any good at it because I'd probably just slack off and not actually work with an app.
I think it's a good complement to language learning. I don't think it should be the only thing you do, because I took the Duolingo, and I had been doing it for a while before I did the classes, but the classes is really what pushed me to another level, and you're talking to people, and really that's what's really going to help you learn a language. You got to speak it, unfortunately.
You're not going to be able to get any good at it if you're studying from an app and there's no one around you who can actually help you out and practice.
But I watch basically every TV show now on with Spanish subtitles. I just think it's fun.
Travis Shaw called out on the splitter, which was basically down the middle. 8th strikeout now for Tanaka.
Yeah, he's been pitching a heck of a ball game. Yeah, I need to step outside for a quick second, if you don't mind, real quick.
Yeah, by the time you come back, there'll probably be 2 more strikeouts. As Teoscar takes a ball low. Tanaka settling in after allowing some base runners early on. 1-0 pitch to Teoscar Hernandez is in for a strike. 259 average is 3rd on the Blue Jays. So that kind of shows you where they are compared to the Yankees. 1-1. Swung on and missed. Another slider. Manager's look there on his face tells you about all you need to know. Tanaka fires the 1-2, and Teoscar does not chase that one. Would not have been surprised if he had chased, but he doesn't. Two and 2 to Teoscar is fouled away. For what it's worth, and I don't know what it's worth, but Blue Jays have made Tanaka work a little bit this inning. They're not going away on 3 pitches. And there's another strikeout. Number 9 for Tanaka, and there are 2 outs here in the 6th.
That's all I missed was another strikeout, huh?
Yeah, I said there might be 2 by the time you come back, but Teoscar actually made Tanaka work to strike him out. He didn't go down 3 pitches.
Boy, not a good day for Teoscar Hernandez. 2 strikeouts and a double play.
Gurriel swings and misses.
Now, Gurriel's a really streaky hitter.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't think he's had a hot streak in the ball season yet.
Last time I was on a call, he went 4 for 5 yesterday, but yeah, it comes in one game, right? On Saturday, when I did the game with Hines against the Cubs, he had 2 home runs. But the day before that, he had some of the worst at-bats I've ever seen. Flies that one to right field, that's going to drop for a base hit, so a 2-out single.
Yeah, just after we're talking about how he's not doing that great, there he does. Bob gets a single.
Seiya Tanaka just threw his 99th pitch. 65 of them for strikes. See the long man up in the bullpen, Montgomery and Happ. Rowdy Tellez has been miserable, lousy. See him doing the same thing. And he goes after that one and hits it pretty well, and that's going to go over the wall. That's a home run. A 2-run home run for Rowdy Tellez. And now it's 5-2.
Well, it worked there. You said he's been miserable and lousy, and there he hits his 20th home run of the season.
Reverse psychology here. Nice swing into the bullpen there of the Blue Jays.
Yeah, that's the kind of custom Rowdy Tellez swing you see a lot. He goes opposite field there, and he's got enough power to hit them out to left center field. He's not just an only pull kind of guy.
Danny Jansen has also been lousy all season.
That's big. They're closing that gap to 3 runs. Now they'll have to use Chapman.
Which I don't know if that's a very good thing, though. You're kind of in you're in a bit of a pickle when you face the Yankees. 0-2 is high. If you are far enough behind, you see they already have the setup and going. If you're far enough behind, you might bring in a guy like Jay Happ, and you can get to him. But then, if you come close, you're gonna have to face these tough relievers at the back end. So there's no winning here. You have to really knock the starter out, but knock him out, like put up like 7-8 runs on him.
Yeah. Or just run his pitch count up and get to that Jay Happ.
That one's put in play. Judge on the run. Won't get that one. That's another base hit. And Jansen is going for second, and he is a dead duck.
That was right in front of you. Why?
Oh, my goodness.
Well, you got the part right about the Jays where they do stupid base running, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, you're at
So 5-2. Ryan Dull comes on here for the Blue Jays. 4.62, actually not too bad compared to where he was a bit earlier in the season.
Yeah, it's never boring, is it?
No, it's not. Justin Miller is up also. Miller's actually played pretty well for the Blue Jays in the bullpen. TOR is 1 for 2 on the day. Blue Jays have gotten 2 runs back. They had a promising thing going there, but of course they have to run into outs.
0-1.
Yeah, scored 5 runs there in that 5th inning for the Yankees. Batted around. Gleyber Torres got a single that last inning, so they're getting a lot of at-bats. But you're right, a lot of base runners for the Jays this game, and they've stranded a lot of them.
And you absolutely cannot do what Danny Jansen just did. Down by 3. Plays right in front of you, as you said. You've got a very good right fielder and Aaron Judge out there, and you run yourself into an out.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Down.
Just no on-field awareness, really, is what that was.
They did a Blue Jays Rays game about a week ago, maybe. Yeah, Mark and I did a game, and Jansen and Gurriel ran themselves into outs on the base paths in the same game.
That's something you expect out of Teoscar Hernandez.
I think all these guys have not shown very good base running skills at some point. As a big swing and a miss there from Torres. He goes down. Dull, who did pitch a little bit with the Yankees last year. You see, the Blue Jays, fortunately, team ERA has really gone up recently, and obviously that has to do with the losses of Ryu and Roark. Those guys were 2 of the best starters they had. As I mentioned, at one point they were like toe-to-toe with the Yankees in terms of team ERA.
And impressive that they've hung in there for so long, considering how bad the offense has been.
Again, this is a very, very bad stretch with a lot of good teams. We have Kansas City coming up again, not the worst team in, I think, all of ballers. Second worst, definitely the worst in the American League. They're 50 games under 500. So the Blue Jays have maybe a bit of a break in Kansas City, but then after that, they come home and they play 4 games against the Oakland A's.
Yeah, and Kansas City just traded Jorge Soler, so I mean, that record is even worse now that he's no longer with them.
So maybe that's a soft spot, but you saw the A's on your game yesterday exploding for 16 runs. So that's what awaits the Blue Jays when they return home from the 7-game road trip.
Yeah, Oakland's a really fun team to watch. Oh, someone in the chat saying hi to us. Hi, NP Squared. It's good to see you in the chat.
Hey, NP. Fan of the Dodgers, who will be on our stream later as Judge takes a strike, so it's a full count. Full count pitch, and he swings and misses, so back-to-back strikeouts for Ryan Dull. He's been anything but boring so far.
Well, that's a good way to start off your inning, is getting 2 strikeouts and 2 difficult batters, but Aaron Judge striking out a lot this season. That's 169 strikeouts for Judge already this season.
100 and a very nice number. As Stanton swings and misses, he had the big blow against Pearson, the 3-run home run.
Yeah, that was home run number 42 for him, which is the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
It's also Jackie Robinson's number.
Yeah.
And
It's always my
Mariano
favorite
Rivera's
number because of that book, and it's like, well, I can never wear it because then I'm appropriating Jackie Robinson.
That one's hit deep to center field, going back Grichuk, and there's another one, another home run for Giancarlo Stanton. More Italian in the radio booth, and now it's 6-2.
Well, he wasn't stuck on 42 for very long. Crushes that one. Now he's got 43 home runs on the year, and that is not even good enough for first in the American League, and it's certainly not good enough for first in the National League, considering what Jorge Soler has done.
Yeah, Jorge Soler will be on your Twitch screens later. There's just center field. That's some pop, that's for sure.
Straight away center. That is some extreme pop for sure. Yeah, Rodon Alvarez leads the league with 48 home runs, by the way. So Stanton, he's in spitting distance of that.
He has 48 Yordongs so far.
Yeah, Stanton's got 3 more games this series against the Jays, so he may pass him by the end of this weekend. That's
on the ground. Dull makes the play. So he gets a couple of strikeouts and a ground ball, but he also gives up another long home run to Giancarlo Stanton. And as we go to the 7th, it's 6-2 Yankees. J-Man will take you the rest of the way with the play-by-play.
Yeah, like you said, it wasn't dull with Ryan Dull coming into the game. A couple of strikeouts and a moonshot home run. And Jordan Montgomery coming into this game, and he's got the nickname Gumby. And I was looking up why he has that nickname the last time he was in, because I just know that that's his nickname. And what's the story behind it? And the story behind it is that he was a goofy, awkward-looking kid, and it's just teenage meanness.
Ah, so there really is nothing behind it.
Yeah, he just looked goofy when he was tall and lanky, and what teammate called him Gumby, and the name stuck. And it's just, just teenage meanness.
Well, that's not very nice. Blue Jays have just, 9 outs to work with here to score at least 4 runs. I have a
Did you have any nicknames when you were a kid?
No, not really. They would tease me sometimes. Different things.
Yeah, I was given the nickname Charlie in high school because I said something that someone didn't like, and they didn't know my name, and said, "That's enough out of you, Charlie." And
so just
a huge laugh, and then I was Charlie after that.
I had an English teacher in high school. She could not remember anybody's name, and she knew that she had these issues remembering names.
Ooh, Grichuk hits one very deep, but is that one going to stay fair? It does stay fair. A home run for Randall, number 14 on the year. Well, unfortunately, Giancarlo Stanton just hit that solo shot, so we're just back to where we were with the deficit at 3.
Unfortunately, indeed, and I always ask, how come you don't do this with runners on? Of course, Rowdy's home run was with the runner on base, but this one's a solo bomb. Well, they're back in it, and Montgomery has to face at least 2 more batters before you can take him out of the game, so this could get interesting. I was telling you about my English teacher. Like, she knew that she didn't remember anybody's name, so she would laugh at it. What I remember is she asked a question, and a guy raised his hand, and his name is Adam, and she says, "Yeah, Jack." Everybody cracked up. I mean, how do you confuse Adam and Jack? I mean, that's fun as you can get. And she cracked up because she obviously knew that she messed up big time.
I mean, why take the stab at it if you know you don't know it?
Yeah, I just have no idea. Like, that was totally not even in the neighborhood.
Well, another out there here. Pop up from Drury, and there's one away. I had an English teacher who insisted on calling everyone by their last name, like Mr. or Miss. And so I thought it would be funny to just come up with a fake name to make this teacher call me, and my friend saw like a Rance Molnix card and pronounced it Mulkins. So I told this teacher that my name was Mr. Mulkins. I thought that was a fun name. And this guy that I'd never had one conversation with the entirety of my whole high school career is sitting there watching this conversation, and he just pipes up and goes, "I've been calling this guy Mulkins for years." Because he could tell the teacher did not want to call me the name at all. So I'd raise my hand often in that class, and he'd go, "Yes, Mr. Mulkins," and everyone would be like, "It's Mr. Mulkins." And the icing of it all, 2-2 pitch in the dirt, was at the parent-teacher conference meeting. I told my parents, "All right, when you meet this teacher, you gotta go up to him and say we're Mr. Mulkins' parents." And my parents are, that's one thing about them, is they're game for that sort of nonsense. And so they walked up and said, "We're Mr. Mulkins' parents," and he just looked so terrified is what they say. He's like, "I'm not sure if I'm allowed to call him that." Okay, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we call him Mulkins too." Well, Bo Bichette reaches on what should have been an error, I thought, there by Tommy LaStella, but it's going to be scored a base knock.
And Montgomery's going to stay in.
Quietly, a good game for Bo Bichette. He's 3 for 4 today.
Yeah, there's been some flashes, unfortunately. There's also been a lot of bad for the Blue Jays today, which is why we're laughing at high school teachers here.
Well, every game you should be able to digress a little bit. Vlad hits one up the middle. Another base hit for him. He's 2 for 4 today, so the Jays, now they've got 2 on, and tying run coming up to the plate here, and it's the mayor of Ding Dong City.
Now, do you know what happened to the Phillies pitcher who's being carted off the field in the real game?
I did not see that. I just looked over there just now and saw a guy wincing in pain.
I think it's Jose Alvarez, the lefty. I'm not sure what happened to him.
The Yankees took the lead in their real game against the Rays. They're now up 4-3. So that one's now in the top of the 6th inning. Travis Shaw 0 for 3 today. Strikeout, 2 strikeouts, and a flyout. So time for some redemption here for Mr. Shaw.
And he's actually not terrible against lefties. Told you this game I did against the Cubs the other day, he hit a home run off John Lester.
You know, a home run here would be great and would tie the game up. It's hit on the ground to Torres, though. That's a nice double play turned by DJ LeMahieu and Gleyber Torres. So again, the Jays with a golden opportunity to score. Strand 2. We're going to the bottom of the 7th. Yankees leading by 3.
You know what I should have said? That he's terrible against lefties.
Yeah, and you look at that box score there. Jays are out hitting the Yankees coming into this inning.
Yeah.
So a lot of opportunities have just been squandered.
Wilmer Font comes in for the real Jays, and the real Wilmer Font is even worse than the Brock one. He has a 10.5 ERA.
Yeah, like I said, Wilmer Font, I don't like his type of face.
What I saw once, even before high school, we're talking about pranks on teachers and stuff.
This one's hit out to right. Teoscar Hernandez gets there in a hurry and makes the catch.
See, Thomas Bonona. So I think I was in the 6th or 7th grade, and somebody started a prank. We had a substitute teacher, and the prank was that we'd all tell the substitute teacher that our name is Corey. And somehow, either the vice principal or one of the other teachers got word of it. So they said, no one's going to say their name is Corey today. So we couldn't actually pull off the prank. That would be fun.
What about if there was a kid actually named Corey?
Yeah, no, that would have been no. There was. I don't think there were any. Yeah. No one's going to call themselves Corey, especially not the guy named Corey.
Corey, you're a new name. You're Jack now.
Yeah, Jack. That's a good one. I have a this day in baseball history just for the Yankees. I couldn't find anything for the Blue Jays, but for the Yankees, on this day in August 20th, 1938, so it's going a long way, first baseman Lou Gehrig hit the final grand slam of his career in the Yankees' 11-3 rout of the A's. That's, of course, Philadelphia A's. The first inning blast given up by the Philadelphia right-hander Buck Ross extended the Iron Horse's major league record for bases loaded home runs to 23, a mark that will be surpassed in 2013 by fellow Yankee Alex Rodriguez.
Ooh, A-Rod.
Yeah. So that was 23 grand slams for Lou Gehrig.
And the Padres, they just hit 3 grand slams in 3 days.
Yeah.
And it couldn't happen against a better team to hit them against than the Texas Rangers.
That will be my next game tomorrow. Texas Rangers, not Padres, but they'll be in Houston. And I wonder if Chris Woodward was upset that Manny Machado hit a grand slam in the bottom of the 10th with his team leading by a run.
I'm sure he's mad about a lot of things. Nice strikeout there by Pannone. And you know, Chris Woodward did swing at a 3-0 count when he was with the Blue Jays.
And, you know, yeah, he played here for a while, and I don't really have any bad thoughts about him, but it'd just be ridiculous. You have to add on when you are up, even if you're up by 7, because Texas is not a bad offensive team. They got guys like Gallo and others who, you know, they can come back a big deficit.
Gallo.
So, you know, we just have to, we're up by a lot of runs. We're just going to stop and not try to add on because it might offend the Texas Rangers. Yeah. Come on.
Didn't Tatis steal third base the other day, too, up by 6? So, I mean, I just love that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some character, that's for sure.
Not even drafted by them originally, too. He traded for by, can you believe a team gave up him?
Yeah, the White Sox gave him up for James Shields.
Oh, my God.
How did that work out for you, White Sox?
Why didn't we have James Shields so we could have traded?
Yeah. James Shields gave up the home run to big sexy Bartolo Colon. And the White Sox still wanted him.
We'll give up a generational talent for him. This one's hit out to center field, and Grichuk is there to make the catch. So a 3-up, 3-down inning there for Pannone as we're going to the 8th. Yankees leading by 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please.
Tommy Canely coming into the game. He was Yankee closer while Aroldis Chapman was on the shelf. And he's got pretty good numbers, 2.59 earned run average, 13 saves in those 16 opportunities.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. You get closer, and now you have to face the good relievers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do this unless you put a hurting on the starter and the long reliever.
Yeah, well, Jordan Montgomery is one of those long relievers, and he's they put up some numbers on him, and but not enough.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to score 7 runs. I don't see them coming back from this at all. Teoscar Hernandez sends one to right field. Aaron Judge giving chase at the wall, and he makes it on the track. Well, Teoscar Hernandez gave that one a ride, but not deep enough.
Got the short porch out there, so I thought I might have a chance.
Yeah, anytime it's hit to that part of the ballpark, it's got a chance of going out. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., 1 for 3 today.
Nope, that's the ball.
Scored on the Rowdy Tellez home run in the 6th inning. Next game after this is the Mets and the Angels. Big Fund and Jeremy Goldstein calling that one for you.
That's outside.
Mets and Angels, Jacob deGrom and Julio Teheran.
Julio Teheran in real life was moved to the bullpen by the Angels because he was really struggling.
And here in the ball world, they've got Dylan Bundy, I think, is the long reliever. And Dylan Bundy in the real world's been fantastic. And you just love to see that happen to a guy after he's left Baltimore.
Yeah, that's a tough place to pitch, obviously. I'm going to
Happened with Jake Arrieta, too.
Yeah. I wonder what they do over there in Baltimore. I mean, obviously, it's not a great ballpark to pitch in, but, you know.
Well, it's not like they've never had good pitchers there.
Exactly.
Mike Mussina made his career there. That one's hit on the ground. A base hit through the right side for Lourdes Gurriel. He's got 2 hits today now.
Nothing bad with the offense. They just haven't had a lot of hits when it mattered.
Yeah, I think that's 11 hits now for them. If you get 11 hits, you got to score more than 3 runs. Especially when 2 of those runs came on a home run.
And
2 of them came on a home run. The other one was a solo shot.
Yeah.
So you just can't be doing that.
No. The game that they won against the Cubs 5-4, they had 5 runs all on solo home runs.
As Buck Martinez said, they're Star Wars hitters. They're all Han Solo.
That might be the most clever thing Buck has ever said.
I would agree. You know, I fall for the stuff he says all the time. Like I'm falling for the Randall Grichuk is good narrative that he's pushing right now. You know, he's saying that Grichuk's letting the ball get deeper into the account, and that's what's been his. Like I believed him every time that he talked about Kevin Pillar being good at hitting too. Like at a certain point, I've got to stop believing him.
So yeah, you're talking about Grichuk. Right now, he looks like Kevin Pillar every April. And
yeah,
then,
exactly. That's
and
what
then
it
disappears.
is.
Yeah.
And I remember what he said. I'm going to do a Buck Martinez impression here as Rowdy Tellez draws a walk. Man, you need 1,500 at-bats to really understand a player's true level. And you play every day, you start to play with confidence. And when you play with confidence, good things are going to happen.
Buck Martinez, ladies and gentlemen, or the some form of iteration of Buck Martinez.
Oh, and almost a nicely turned double play there by LeMahieu, but they get the lead runner.
The center fielder, Randall.
So Gurriel goes to third, Tellez out at second, and Jansen will replace him at first. You haven't heard Buck Martinez do his thing about confidence? Listen for it, because he's always talking about confidence.
He talks about a lot of things. I try to tune him out, to be honest with you.
And he also starts every sentence with a hearty, yeah. He'll agree with Buck. So what? Yeah, you're totally right there, Buck.
Or he sure does.
Yeah, Dan, you're totally right. Randall Grichuk is letting the ball get deeper, and that's been a real key to his success.
Here is Grichuk, and I hope he gets deep here, that's for sure.
Yeah, if he gets a home run, that would tie this ball game up. But instead, he hits a weak ground ball to Gleyber Torres, who completes the out at second. So the Jays get a single and a walk, 2 more base runners, and 2 more base runners left stranded. You like lobster? The Blue Jays do.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Blue Jays.
Well, here we are in the bottom of the 8th inning, 9-1-2 for the Yankees. Justin Miller in the game. Pretty good earned run average here for Miller.
Yeah, in his 23rd game now, he's done a very nice job. And his job here is to hold it to 3 runs, so they bring in a Aroldis Chapman, and he can strike out the side in the top of the 9th. If he doesn't hold it, they'll bring in someone else to strike out the side in the top of the 9th. So you mentioned the...
I'm sure they'll get 2 on just to be very frustrating for us.
Yeah, just to tease us a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the Mets and the Angels. I call the Mets the poor cousins of the Yankees, the crosstown rivals. They are 10 games under 500, 58-68. Way out of the race already. But Jacob deGrom is, 2-time Cy Young Award winner, so they might have a chance. They really got shelled in the first game of that series on Tuesday, 19-1 by the Angels, but they came back and won yesterday, so it's a rubber match today.
it's almost the complete opposite the way it is in Los Angeles. The National League team is the much better team, and the American League team is the not as good run club. And well, they've got Mike Trout.
You see the standings there are 68 and 60, so they've actually played a lot better recently. And the Blue Jays went out there and got swept by them, and that, I'm sure, helped propel the Angels. Now they're still way out of a playoff spot, but maybe they'll be, finish with a respectable record. I mean, they thought they were out of it.
Big update here. Tampa Bay takes a huge lead over the Yankees. It's now 8-4.
Wow.
And embarrassingly, Mike Zunino is the guy that hit a 3-run home run.
Ouch. So, yeah, the Angels thought they were out of it. That's why they traded this guy, Stella.
Yeah, they traded Stella. They traded Heaney. I mean, they traded everybody, and then they started playing better.
Yeah. That's why our Ball Angels GM said he's willing to replace the real one.
I think is a real one, Billy Epler, a former Yankee executive himself.
Yeah, he's
been there for a long time, too. And they've not had any success. That's surprising.
Every year it seems like the pitching injuries get them.
Yeah, and then this year they've lucked into Dylan Bundy.
Yeah, of course, in Ball, Dylan Bundy hasn't been so good. That's why he's in the bullpen. And I'm going to almost guarantee you that he will pitch in this next game that we're going to see. It'll be either him or Jaime Barria or both.
You got to have your long reliever come in. You got to. Nice pitch there by Miller.
Yeah, nice slider. We see after that 5:15 another game that looks like a lopsided match. It's the Giants and the Diamondbacks. P. Mr. 3 and Jaden Becker. Then Dodgers and Cubs, game 4 of that series. I had games 2 and 3. They were very exciting.
It's hit out to shallow right. Teoscar Hernandez comes in and makes the catch. Oh, doesn't make the catch. Excuse me. I turned my head away for a second.
There you go.
That fault. Oh, no, there is a guy on first already.
Yeah, it was the single for Stella.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Dodgers and Cubs should be very interesting.
That's my problem. I looked away to see the real Jays game when Billy McKinney got on.
So, yeah. So, we're going to have Dodgers and Cubs at 7 o'clock, and that's going to be game 4 of the 4-game series. And Cookie Eater and Hines will have that. And then 8:45, White Sox and Mariners. We're going to have a beard cast. Brother Beard and Beardy Buddha. It'll be fun. The White Sox have really struggled recently.
I know. And you watch the real White Sox, they are so fun to watch right now. Luis Robert is playing incredible. Eloy Jimenez is great. And those guys have been disappointments in the ball world. Same thing for Yoan Moncada.
Yeah, the White Sox in the ball world had one stretch where they lost 9 of 10, and that's why the Rays overtook them in the wildcard spot.
Tough play for Shaw. Goes to second, back in first in time. Nicely turned double play there by Shaw. And a nice turn there by Drury, too, as well. We're going to the 9th. Jays need 3.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Yankees, number 54.
And Aroldis Chapman is into the game. A 3.38 earned run average for him. He's going to face Drury, Bo Bichette, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Jays need a couple of bloops and a blast.
At the ball.
Several bloops and blasts.
Yeah. I would like a lot of bloops and blasts because I don't want to tie this game and go to extras and lose in extras.
Well, that one's hit to left field. Gardner's not going to get to that one. It falls in front of him, rounding first and wisely putting on the brakes. There is Brandon Drury. And a leadoff single here in the 9th inning for the Jays.
Well, he's fired up. You got to pitch a cookie there right down the middle. I actually thought Gardner was going to make the catch, but he didn't. So that turns the lineup over, and Bo Bichette's had a pretty nice day. Let's see what happens.
3 for 4 for Bichette today. 3 singles. So that'll up that average of his all the way up to 289, 355 on base, still lower than Tommy LaStella's, though. 1-0 pitch, hit on the ground, but foul.
Of course, Chapman can really bring it, as we know. He can get it up to 102. He had 102 in the first pitch he threw to Drury.
Chet fouls another one off, and it's 1-2. I'm not a big fan of Roldis Chapman and his personal history.
Yeah.
And especially in how the Yankees profited off of it, too. Thought that was particularly disgusting.
I mean, trading him to the Cubs.
Well, getting him for nothing from Cincinnati, too, because of his...
yeah.
And then they traded him to the Cubs. They profited greatly off of him.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I'm not he looks like a fun guy, but you always have that history in the back of your head when you see him.
Now, I remember, I believe Anthopoulos wanted to sign Chapman, but he said he didn't have enough scouting information on him, and he didn't feel comfortable enough offering him a big contract. Bichette draws a walk here, so the first two batters reach. Like I said, they're going to give us this false hope.
Here comes Vlad. I didn't know that Anthopoulos said that. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing that he wasn't comfortable saying? Because obviously he's a good closer, but you talk about the personal history and all the other stuff. Baggage.
Yeah. Well, tough to know that that's coming.
Yeah.
I think that he really just meant more about like the stuff and whatnot. And I remember Chapman originally was a starter. He wanted to be a starting pitcher. That was always what he wanted to be. And the first year in the majors, Cincinnati just said, well, we'll just try you out there in relief. And he was so good that they just never moved him back. And you may be seeing the same thing with Ryan Borucki.
I think Dusty Baker was the manager at Cincinnati at the time. He just saw what a great arm he had in the bullpen and didn't move him, and that's where he stayed. Yeah, that could be with Borucki because he's been very good in real life out of the pen. And Ballpark, he's been terrible out of the pen and as a starter. But, real life Borucki has been lights out.
I would still like to see him as a starter. I mean, he made 17 starts and had a 3.87 earned run average. That's better than Tanner Roark.
Yeah, and if he hadn't been injured last year, he probably could have built on that rookie year that he had.
Vladimir Guerrero sends that one foul, just as Kevin Biggio ties the game with an RBI double Buffalo.
Nice. That's in the 6th inning, so remember, there's only 7.
Yeah, that's why I was like, you got to get something missing. And the ball just went over Harper's head. There was not a very good play.
I see that. Harper was channeling his inner Teoscar or something on that play?
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the concerns about Harper was his defense when they signed him to that big contract. That, if the universal DH comes to the National League, that may be a good thing for the Phillies.
Yeah, because
2-2 pitching misses high, full.
Yeah, I don't think his defense will get better as he ages, that's for sure. So if they have the DH, he can just do his thing with the bat.
Here's the payoff pitch to Guerrero. And another foul off.
Now, for what it's worth, even if they get nothing here, they're making Chapman work.
Another 3-2 pitch. And another foul off by Guerrero.
10 pitches. So he's making them work. Remember, there's 3 more games in the series, so making Chapman work here might benefit the Blue Jays in the long term.
Oh, called third strike, and I agree with Guerrero. That was inside, and Guerrero was furious about that one.
That's a Yankee Stadium call if I ever saw one.
Sure was, EB. I'm going to agree with you wholeheartedly on that. So now Travis Shaw comes up with a runner on with 2 on and 1 out.
Count 1-0.
Yeah, surprised you didn't call that one a strike there.
I wonder if it's Joe West or Vic Carapazza or Angel Hernandez or CB Buckner behind the plate today. One of those.
Now, Vic Carapazzo calling the second game of this Phillies-Jays doubleheader, so watch that one. That'll be a very interesting strike zone.
And he's not in the ballpark for the first one because they usually give the guy who will have the plate in the second game the first game off.
It's not going to help him, though.
No. But maybe he'll come in with a clear mind and a good mood.
Yeah. 1-2 pitch to Shaw, fouled away. And another 1-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. Nasty slider there from Aroldis Chapman. And now the Jays are down to their final out.
And Chapman does have an opportunity to strike out 3 batters in the inning despite letting on 2 runners. Teoscar Hernandez is a pretty good strikeout candidate.
Guerrero should have walked, and Shaw, that was not a good pitch to be swinging at. They've really given this inning over to Chapman. They've just too many easy outs.
That's been the story of their season and of this game.
Oh, 1 pitch here to Teoscar Hernandez. And he sends that one 2 blips off to DJ LeMahieu for the final out here. Really tough day for Teoscar Hernandez. 0 for 5, 2 strikeouts, and a double play. And he was the last out here in the 9th. So he was really struggling today. The Jays had a lot of base runners too this game. They really didn't play that crisp of a ball game. Didn't get runners in. And Nate Pearson just really ran out of gas there in the 5th inning. Well, they played a competitive game, all of those things considered.
Well, Charlie Montoya will say that it's a moral victory because they didn't get blown out. There was a 3-run game, and they had runners on and couldn't advance them, so we're all good. I mean, yeah, this stretch for the Blue Jays has been really, really terrible, and Mr. 2 home runs will get the player of the game honors. Not surprising.
Yeah, the Jays fall to 61 and 68. The Yankees improve to 79 and 49. So they've got now a 5-game lead over the Rays there for second place. But the Rays, they do have a hold on that second wild card spot.
And of course, the Blue Jays, I mean, if they get swept in the series, they would be 10 games under 500. This would not be fun whatsoever.
Yeah, and they were just 2 games over 500 like a week ago. It's just been a really rough series for them.
Yeah,
I haven't called many Jays games lately, and I think that's been a blessing in disguise for me.
They swept the Orioles, as I mentioned, around the trade deadline, and since then they have not won a series. Here come the highlights.
Well, this is going to be all Yankees, and you see, it was scoreless until the 5th inning. Nate Pearson was pitching a pretty good ball game, but DJ LeMahieu, ground ball, scoring a run, and then Giancarlo Stanton doing Giancarlo Stanton things. Mammoth home run, that was his first of 2. He has 43 on the season now. That was a grand slam, and that was all the offense the Yankees needed. But they would get more in that inning as Wilmer Font walking Brett Gardner with the bases loaded, walking in a run. And this again was Masahiro Tanaka's game. He struck out, I think it was 8 batters. He had that slider working for him all day. You see there in the 6th inning, he got Travis Shaw looking. Shaw struck out 3 times in the game. Not a great day for him. But Rowdy Tellez putting a charge into one of the 6th inning. That scored 2. Made the game 5-2 for the Jays, and that was as close as they would ever get 3 runs. As the very next inning, Giancarlo Stanton would get that run back. Solo shot for him, number 43, straightaway center field on a slider. 424 feet. And then in the 7th, Randall Grichuk would get that run back, a solo shot of his own. That was his 14th home run of the year, and that was close as the Jays would get it. They'd get a couple runners on in the 8th, they'd get a couple runners on in the 9th, but they were unable to cash them in. As you see here, Roldis Chapman striking out Travis Shaw on a slider here, and Teoscar Hernandez grounding out 6-4 for the final out of the ball game. Yankees win this one by a final score of 6-3.
He's now on a 4-game losing skid, so the rough patch continues, and well, they'll try to maybe have a better day tomorrow. We'll see. They'll send Matt Shoemaker to the mound.
We are joined in the booth now by our next broadcasters, Big Fund and Jeremy Goldstein. How you doing today, guys?
Doing quite all right. We're going to go from New York on the East Coast to New York on the West Coast, bring you the rubber game between the Mets and the Angels in some interleague action. How was your call of the Jays and the Yankees here from the stadium?
It's pretty much as you'd expect it to go. Nate Pearson pitched pretty well for 4 innings, but that 5th inning, you see they put up a crooked 5 spot there, and I was saying to EB during this game, it was making me real sad because I realized this is definitely a game I would have been at had this been a normal season.
Oh, absolutely. I can't imagine.
It's okay. The Yankees are about to get swept by the Rays in real life, so.
Well, I think the bot Yankees could very well take all 4 games from the Blue Jays. I'd rather not see it, but it probably happen. So you guys have Jacob deGrom going. That's pretty good.
Yeah, deGrom is going to get the ball against former National League East foe for the Angels. They've got Julio Teheran on the mound. Bit of a tough one for Teheran so far this year. A 5.04 ERA. Not what you want to see.
Historically, he's been good against the Mets, but maybe the bot version of him will not be as successful.
Well, you never know. I mean, the Angels have been playing really good baseball lately after basically selling off their team at the trade deadline. Well, that's why they play the games.
Yeah, they've been getting great contributions from basically all of the guys that they picked up in these trades. DJ Peters has been very solid in left field for them, kind of holding the fort until Joe Adele is ready to get going. They've got Brian Goodwin, not a trade deadline acquisition, but he's been playing way above expectation. And then you've got guys like Tony Gonsolin, Edubray Ramos contributing. It's been great for him, but we'll let you wrap it up.
Yeah. So again, the Yankees beat the Blue Jays 6-3 on the strength of a grand slam by Giancarlo Stanton. So for EB from Toronto, I've been J-Man 1993. Yankees 6 and the Toronto Blue Jays 3. Take it away, Big Fun. Take it away, Jeremy Goldstein.
Thanks very much, J-Man and EB. Angels going with the mid-70s home jerseys at the Big A today. And we'll let it breathe for a little bit, and then we'll bring you that broadcast open in just a moment. Good afternoon and welcome. You are watching Major League Ball on Twitch.tv. This afternoon, it's the rubber game between the New York Mets and the Los Angeles Angels from Angels Stadium of Anaheim. I'm the Big Fun Eric Garment, joined by Jeremy Goldstein. As you see there, 2 of the brightest stars in the game today. Mike Trout, the all-world center fielder for the Angels, and he will be facing off today against Mets starter Jacob deGrom. But first, we're going to see Julio Teheran pitch.
Julio Teheran, new signing for the Angels coming from Atlanta, lost a lot of velocity since his prime over there in Georgia. 65 on the year, 5.04 ERA. Not what the Angels were probably expecting in him when he signed, but definitely far off from what he used to be.
Leading off tonight,
there you are.
There I am. Sorry about that. Just back in time for the first pitch of this one. Shortstop Ahmed Rosario leading things off for the Mets. First pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1. Rosario will be followed by Jeff McNeil, Pete Alonso, Michael Conforto, Yoenis Cespedes, J.D. Davis, now the regular third baseman for the Mets after a change earlier this week. Then Brandon Nimmo bats 7th. The DH is Robinson Cano, and William Contreras hits 9th. That is just outside from Tehran. Defensive alignment for the Angels, left, right in the infield, starting at third base. Anthony Rendon, Andrelton Simmons, David Flesh plays first. Jason Castro does the catching. Left to right in the outfield is DJ Peters, Mike Trout, and Brian Goodwin.
DJ Peters really emerging. You mentioned him batting 7th today. One of those young bats that the Angels have really been looking for a nice spark from. And he might be one of those key pieces that might propel them to a wild card berth as the season drags on.
Not quite sure what's going on with my booth. I seem to have lost sight of what's going on if you want to grab things for the time being.
Oh, that's a ground ball second, making the place. Fletcher, Rosario's.
Thank you very much. As I work on this technical issue, let me drop off, try popping back in.
Bring up Jeff McNeil here. McNeil, after a hot 369 July, betting 193 in August.
All right, I think we're back to normal.
They take it away.
First pitch from Tehran to McNeil. Maybe I spoke too soon.
You see it?
No, I do not, unfortunately.
It'll be a 1-1 to McNeil. That's up high, ball 1.
Gonna have to try something else. Jeremy, keep on rolling. Thank you very much.
It'll be 1-1 on the way from Tehran. McNeil betting 308 on the year. The pitch is sliced foul the other way. The count 1-2. You mentioned McNeil struggling in the month of August, and so has the Mets record after maybe a symbol of hope. They've dipped back down to 10 below. As the 1-2 to McNeil is just outside. Now we're even at 2-2.
You take this inning. I'm going to try and get myself sorted out.
Sounds good. That pitch is low and in. Now we're full. Alonso waits on deck. 10th pitch on the way from the former Atlanta Brave, Tehran. Is sliced the other way, foul once again. So after the quick out from Ahmed Rosario, Jeff McNeil working himself quite an at-bat here. It's about second here in the top of the first. Here's another payoff. Hit to the right side foul. So McNeil spraying to all fields, but cannot get the ball in play. It'll be the 8th pitch of the at-bat on the way from Tehran. Here it is. Wind up and deal. Slice foul again. So McNeil living up to his name as a contact hitter here by spoiling off a lot of pitches he doesn't like, waiting for that one in his wheelhouse. The 3-2 is fouled again, right side, so a little more air in line to that one. McNeil will now await the 10th pitch coming in this long at-bat. Here it is. Hit the other way down the left field line, and that ball is going to be called. I can't see. It was dropped.
They're ruling it an error. An F7. Let's see what happened on the replay there. Or it was an E7, excuse me.
Yeah, mine's a little blurry myself, so I didn't really see what happened out and left.
Looked as if Peters took a look at it, kind of lost it in the light a little bit, and it went off of his glove and hopped over the wall for a 2-base error, allowing McNeil to stand on second for Pete Alonso.
Alonso, another Met who's struggling, 3 for his last 18, but average still standing at 262 on the year. McNeil will lead off second here as Alonso takes outside ball 1. Alonso does have good numbers against Tehran, 5 for 7 in his short career. 1-0 on the way. High, 2-0.
I'm going to step out of the booth for a second, try and sort myself out. Thank you very much, Jeremy, for keeping things going.
Problem. Not doing perfect here myself, but I can see some of the gameplay. So take what we can get here as we look to figure out these technological difficulties. As that pitch is fouled, nubbed off the bottom of the end of the bat to count 2-1. The 2-1 on the way. McNeil off second. Not much speed from him. That pitch hits the right side and deep. Goodwin drifting back at the track, at the wall. It's caught. Just missed a home run. Tagging to third is McNeil. It'll be a fly out for Alonso in F9. Goodwin making a running catch at the wall. Tagging to third is McNeil.